Hey guys, what's going on? This is Travis P11. I'd like to welcome you back to the channel. Well guys, today we're bringing you a tabletop review of this very cool 357 Magnum Colt Trooper MKIII. Now this pistol is on loan to me from Stan, the owner of SS Pawn in Lexington, Nebraska. This pistol is part of Stan's private collection, and he does support the channel by lending us firearms for us to test and tabletop review and bring you cleaning videos. So let's show some support for SS Pawn. Go ahead and give them a call and they will take care of all of your firearms needs. We just recently had a range test with this pistol. We were firing some 357 Magnum 158 grain jacketed sawpoint brass ammo. A little bit later on we'll show you what the results of that range test were. But for right now, let's go ahead and get into the vital statistics of this pistol. What do you need to know and what's most important? Now this model that you see here is the 6-inch barreled model. It has a 6-shot capacity, again 357 Magnum or 38 Special Plus P. The Colt Troopers went into production around 1953 and they ran up until 1985. And during that time there were a series of different models that came out in different variants, this being the Mark III model. We'll talk about what differentiates this model from other Mark IIIs that were out there. I'm sorry, other Colt Trooper pistols that were out there. What I can tell you off the bat, it was an absolute joy at the range to shoot. Obviously we're talking about a double action trigger, very comfortable, light trigger pull. I mean, it's just barely, now heavier, I would say this is a solid, man, probably 14 pounds of pull. I mean, maybe 15 to go with the full double action trigger pull. When I was shooting it at the range, I just did the single action pull on it to have a little bit more accuracy while I was using it. You do have some adjustable rear sights and a 2-pound, 12-ounce weight, which makes it not incredibly heavy, but also able to manage the recoil at the same time. This pistol was offered at the time as an alternative to the Smith & Wesson Model 28. And there's a few things about the Mark III that really made it different from the other Troopers. At the time, Colt was looking for a way to cut some costs, but still offer high quality pistols. And so, internally speaking, this pistol did feature a transfer bar lockwork system, which was considered a bit superior to other types of safety mechanisms out there at the time, which essentially means that the trigger had to be pulled back completely in order for the pistol to fire. Now, in terms of the internal components, it actually featured sintered iron internal parts instead of forged parts, which means that when the pistol was put together, they were able to essentially mold or get the parts cast in a way that they were able to be put together without requiring a lot of internal fitting. It took less man hours to produce the pistol than prior models. And unfortunately, one of the drawbacks of that is that many of the internal parts of this particular pistol are not compatible with other pistols in the Trooper line, and the Mark V was even more of an evolution of the Mark III. Another difference with the Mark III were the types of springs that were used. They used kind of a traditional coiled spring instead of a flat spring, which improved the reliability and overall feel and function of the revolver at the time. What I think is really cool about these pistols is that they had different names for them. They had different titles that would go along with them. At the time, they had different variants, such as the Lawman, the Metropolitan Police variant, and also the Border Patrol variant. But again, the 357 Magnum Trooper 3 is one of my favorites. I am a huge fan of the 357 Magnum, mainly for its accuracy. Now, let's go ahead and check out some of that range footage. If you look in the bottom left-hand corner, you can see how I was shooting. Unfortunately, I was having a very off day at the range that day. Compared to other 357 Magnum tests that I've taken to the range, if you've seen the other revolvers I've shot before, I shoot them much better. I know this is a very accurate pistol in the hands of an experienced shooter. I only put 50 rounds of 357 Magnum through it. I wish I could have put more rounds through it, but unfortunately we just had one box of ammo. Now, I did adjust the sights while I was at the range for height and also for windage, and unfortunately I wasn't able to get those bullseyes, and as I was backing up and my distance was increasing, my accuracy was also decreasing. But again, it's just me. I mean, what's awesome about this pistol, the quality, the craftsmanship, the fit and the finish, they are all top notch. And when you're looking for one of these online, you're probably going to be around the $800 range, $600 to $800 range, if not more. That's the problem with the market price, guys. A lot of times when it comes to pistols, it's essentially whatever the person wants that's asking for it. And again, pistols like this, they get harder and harder to find all the time. The bluing on it, again, the finish is just awesome. I had a great time shooting it when I was at the range. I wish I could have put more rounds through. In fact, I might just do that before I give it back. And I highly recommend a revolver like this for your collection. If you want something sturdy, heavy duty, comfortable, fun to shoot. The grips were a change for me. I've never fired a revolver with these nice wedge grips on the back. The checkering on them, the finish on the checkering is just awesome. And even though it was fairly warm out when I was shooting, My hands, they did not slip out of my hands at all. I had a great purchase on the gun the whole time. The grips were wonderful, and I'm just used to having like overmolded or rubber grips on a revolver while using it. This is definitely up here as one of my favorites compared to the Ruger GP100, which is also a fantastic shooter. If you ever get a chance to pick up one of these, you definitely need to. One thing that really surprised me about this pistol were the sights. I thought that just being, your standard blacked out iron sights, I would have some trouble making out my sights off in the distance, my targets in the distance, and I really did not. With this nice long sight radius, you really can get a nice, good fixation on your sights and know exactly where you're shooting. Again, just an awesome pistol all around. I absolutely love taking it out to the range, and it's one of those ones I consider buying. Now, they did come in 3 different barrel lengths at the time. There was a 4-inch model, 6-inch model, and also an 8-inch model, okay, for each of the models that are out there. I've noticed when you look these models up online, the nickel finish or satin steel finish, I can't remember exactly which one it is, they do bring a premium in price, and those are the ones that you tend to not see quite so much. Now, this one has a little bit of just perfect holster wear, a little bit of patina going on, as I like to call it, a little bit of wear in just the right places. Definitely has that awesome antique look to it. When I took it apart, but when I cleaned it just as a basic cleaning before I took it out to the range, it did clean up really nicely. And so again, it's just a very, very cool pistol. Now, you may be asking a question, why didn't I take this out with any 38 special ammunition or 38 special plus P? In all honesty, I've tested several 357 Magnums already, and I've taken 38 special out 3 or 4 times now, and along with 357 Mag, and I don't know what it is about the round. It feels snappier, jumpier in the hands. I'm always less accurate with 38 special than I am with the 357 Magnum round. The Champion brass that we fired, just this basic 158 grain jacketed soft point, was fine. I mean, it was actually great for what it was. I just wish I would have brought more with me so I could have done a little more practice. But overall, it was just a fun pistol to shoot. Recoil with 357 Magnum is very manageable. It's very comfortable in the hand. You've got a considerable amount of heft lying over the front of your hands to absorb that recoil, and it is very easy to keep it on target. I did not do, again, any full double action trigger pulls with it. I don't know. Part of it is just I'm just not a good shot with that. I know it's a good way to practice, but you really do have to have some substantially strong hands to fire that and pull that back and keep the gun on target at the same time. So again, in the end, would I pick one up? Oh, most definitely. Colt revolvers are just absolutely awesome. Very cool little pistol. Like I said, 2 pounds, 12 ounces. It's not unmanageable, but it would make a nice range gun. It would just make a nice all-around home defense revolver. Just a nice pistol to add to your collection. I mean, there's a lot of awesome revolvers out there. And unfortunately, the more and more I test these revolvers on this channel, the more I want to pick one up. So again, guys, this is just the quick little overview of the Colt Trooper MKIII 357 Magnum revolver, double action, single action. I really can't tell you what material the grips are made out of. Again, I'm learning more about revolvers every day, but I'm not an expert on them. All I can tell you is just how the pistol felt, how well it performed, how well it shot in my hands, and that's pretty much about it. That's all I can give you for information on the pistol. All I can say is if you ever have a chance to pick one up, do pick one up. They are just very, very cool. So anyway, guys, that's it for today. That's my quick little tabletop review of the Colt Trooper MKIII. I want to thank you for joining me today. Do check out the range test video, and I also have a cleaning video that has already been posted on this pistol. And you can see just how simple it is of a firearm to maintain and just how well the build quality is. So there you go, guys. Please like or subscribe, guys. You can check me out over on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm also over on VidMe with my channel, Travis P11. Guys, I do have a podcast that I do Saturdays live called Caliber Corner, so definitely check that out too if you get a chance. And you can support the channel over on Patreon at patreon.com/TravisP11 to help me keep feeding beauties like this. Cheap ammo like this. Cheap, not quite. So anyway, there you have it, guys. Thanks for joining us today. Quick little tabletop review of the Colt Trooper MKIII 357 Magnum. Awesome pistol. Oh, real quick, the production dates, before I forget, for the MKIII Troopers was from 1969 to 1982, and then there were several variants that were produced a few years after that. I have not checked the serial numbers on this revolver to see when it was manufactured exactly, but if they built them all consistently like this, in my opinion, it doesn't really matter which year you buy. Overall condition, bore condition, that's going to be the big determining factor in what you're going to pay for one of these pistols. So there you go, guys. All right, so thanks for joining us today, guys. I want you to have a wonderful afternoon. Keep checking out the channel. We'll keep putting up videos, even if YouTube continues to demonetize me. Oh, well, it happens. We'll keep putting content up for you guys because you fans are absolutely awesome. All right, guys, take care. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye-bye.